Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summit presentation of the Starladder I-League Chinese Division number 13. Here we've got the winner bracket semifinal, which is actually going to be the final match played for one of these two teams, as we have three qualifier spots. One of them will be going to whoever wins this match, the other team going down into the lower bracket to face up against CDEC.Y. Already up 1-0 in this best of three is EHOME, who put on such a convincing performance on CDEC.Y's silencer that I'm expecting some big things from them in game number two as well, which very well may mean that we are looking at the last game for our broadcast tonight. It started at 2 o'clock in the morning for me, now it's past 9, but we are going to be putting it off in style, showing off the final potentially game of the night here. Obviously, if Wings Gaming take it to the third game, all the more power to them. I'm excited for them. But EHOME are looking really good, and let's look at that draft. Once again, I'm Blaze, and I'm joined by Hades Dota. How's it going, man?
It's all good, dude. It's all good. I mean, it was an awesome game one. We saw CDEC.Y. He's not just capable on the co-op, he's really capable on the silencer as well. So, I mean, back to this game. Right now, we can see Respect Bands already coming out. A Queen of Pain and a Tuskar. I mean, this is really dangerous. I mean, then again, that's what people always say, that it's better to ban the co-op than give it to CDEC.Y. It's just too much of a risk, even though you think you can counter it. So EHOME right now, I mean, they ban out the Shadow Fiend, they do him in the Huskar. It just pretty much makes sense if a team is to pick up the Dazzle immediately, because most teams usually won't give that up. Still waiting for the day where someone's confident enough to just take on this Dazzle Huskar combo, but otherwise, no. The first picks, we're going to see Night Stalker Undying for EHOME and a Bane Dazzle for Wings.
Yeah, so I mean that's obviously going to be pretty telling that they do ban out the Tusk from 11, but they do end up giving up the Undying in the process. Previous bans were Queen of Pain Undying, now Queen of Pain Tusk, so Undying is going to be EHOME's hero to play around with here. And it should be a good lane dominator, but they won't be able to dominate with like the Shadow Fiend. Usually, I love to see the Undying Shadow Fiend duo just because the Decay poking and prodding and making it so the SF gets his Necromastery up, which then is able to do a ton of damage on the decayed target, who obviously has suppressed HP. I like that combo, but of course we're going to be seeing something a little bit different here for the mid matchup. And obviously we also got to see CDEC.Y take the safe lane and Old Chicken take the mid. I'm not sure if they'll switch that up. Sometimes it can be reversed, but no matter the case, it seems like EHOME support staff really just knows how to enable their cores, and so far the Undying is definitely a support. Night Stalker, I wouldn't say so. Usually you want like a 5-position range support to accompany the Undying, and that would mean Night Stalker would be taking the off lane in the hands of Old 11.
Yep, and actually, I mean, right now we see Wings depend out the Alchemist into Winter Wyvern. I'm actually hoping that, Wings will try something a bit new, or EHOME might switch things up, just because, I mean, I know Wings, they try to switch things up with the Timbersaw pick. It's just execution in the end, but otherwise, I mean, can you think of any other CDEC.Y trademark heroes besides the co-op? And I mean, of course, the silencer. Anything else comes to mind?
I mean, he's just in general a good lane dominator. Templar Assassin definitely comes to mind, but Invoker could be an interesting pick here, trying to look at recent history. They haven't picked up Invoker in a while, so I'll look who actually plays that for them. But overall, definitely something that has a bit of a CDEC.Y flourish, but not something that I've seen recently from them.
Alright, and
10 seconds remaining.
Winter draft, I mean, this Invoker, is it possible this is a CDEC.Y Invoker, or is it going to be like Old Chicken playing in the mid?
Well, the last time they ran it was in Old Chicken's hands, Wex Invoker with the Midas Force Staff and Orchid, so that's probably what I'd expect more of. Last time they ran the Ember Spirit alongside it, but they could honestly go with so many different cores. The thing I like about the Ember Spirit, of course, is the Searing Chain setup. You can do so many spells on top of that, whether it's an EMP, whether it's a Sunstrike. Just going in for the Light Chains has some real good potential. But that being said, they don't have to go that route. They could go and spread themselves out a little bit more with just some kind of more man-fight heroes. Obviously, CDEC.Y found a point in the game where he could just stand and deliver his auto attacks, and maybe he wants to play that kind of core again up against Wings.
I mean, personally, for me, I have been secretly hoping for the day where someone, comes out of an Quasvex Invoker build matchup with an anti-mage hard carry, purely because of the synergy. Like, you know, you you get a good EMP, you can come in for the mana void. I've always been waiting for that, but for some reason you just don't see it.
Yeah, the problem is it's so easily countered by BKBs. Like, both heroes really want to be on their targets with their spell set, and if a BKB can negate it, then it makes it a little bit more variable and unreliable. But you know, the dream is real. You know, going in with the EMP like a vacuum onto a mana void. Still, it's possible, but more so in pubs than in competitive, where it's just so hard to rely on that kind of level of execution day in and day out. So yeah, I think Old Chicken, looking at his history, pretty much runs exclusively Wex. So maybe still sees 1 point in Exhort level 1 for the bonus damage for the Alacrity, but overall going to be focusing on early fighting and potentially pick off, so he can get that Orchid up fast enough. Still though, Ember Spirit picked up in spite of that threat. Wings feel like they can avoid the silences effectively enough, which is going to be tough since it's not only the possible Orchid, but the guaranteed Crippling Fear coming into play from the Night Stalker.
I think Lanham's probably taking more time to think of what he wants for this final draft, because he's actually running out of bonus time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think CDEC.Y plays Bristleback, right?
Not that I've seen, but it's definitely wouldn't be something that I would count against him. Probably something more like a Gyrocopter would have been what I would expect, but they're going to hold that for later. Maybe it's another surprise pick. They 5th picked CDEC.Y's hero last time, and it was a bit of a surprise. Maybe they're just looking for the best hero to kind of round everything out. Spectre would be great here. I could still see Silencer working pretty well, in fact. So, yeah, I wouldn't count anything out here.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, actually, now that I see it again, now that you mention it, I mean, Silencer against Ember Spirit, I mean, especially when you start taking out all those intelligence, you start stealing it away from him. Ember Spirit can actually be less significant, and the way he the way you have to play the hero, it changes quite drastically, especially once those intelligence stacks start to grow. So I wouldn't count out the Silencer pick just yet.
EHOME.'s turn to battle.
Clockwork coming in for the Wings, so they've got a lot of control. They've got 2 cores, supports that can fight very effectively in the early game through their self heals, but obviously the Ice Blast counters those both out in general. I feel like EHOME got a lot of value out of this Ancient Apparition pick, to be honest, because although it's not great against the Ember Spirit, it's so good against Bane and Dazzle, and it's actually something that you would maybe even see a little bit earlier in the draft. But here, they get it for their 4th pick, and that's still going to enable them to wreak havoc, as long as they can rely on CDEC.Y's 1 position, which I'm sure they can. Up against a Clockwork, there's not that many matchups that CDEC.Y struggles with, and I would say that any kind of ranged hero would be strong here. They're going to ban out the Slark. This will leave the Gyrocopter in the pool if he wants to go that route. Otherwise, like we said, Silencer, pretty solid.
TN Slark banned out, so other heroes left. I seriously really don't count the anti-mage. I'm still very hopeful about that. But it's gonna be the Wraith King.
Alright. So, what are they going for here? Obviously, they've got some good Deathball momentum. Wraith King, Ancient Apparition is a duo that's been used time and time again, thanks to the synergy of their first abilities there, the Cold Feet and the Wraithfire Blast, both kind of setting each other up very nicely. With just 1 Ice Vortex, and you've got a pretty much guaranteed Cold Feet, especially on a target like Clockwork, who doesn't have an escape in terms of movement, only in terms of cogs. So, yeah, I like it. I think that it's going to be hard for the Wings to really get any point of leverage in the fights. While Dazzle will be able to Shallow Grave a single target and keep him up for 5 extra seconds, Wraith King, having that extra respawn every fight, is going to be creating some difficulty for the Wings. So they could go for like a mana burn type strategy here, but it seems more likely that it's just going to be them having to focus on the Invoker and ignore the Wraith King as much as possible. I like it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Not what I had in mind.
Not at all, but they need to push. They say, okay, well, we don't want to really go up against like a CDEC.Y, Radiance, Blade Mail, etc. Wraith King, like where he just gets so much going for him. So they're going to look for push, and they're going to look to take objectives here. It's going to be Death Prophet that can really just batter down towers, obviously really good at Roshan, and it just comes down to keeping her alive as long as possible. The one thing that I don't like about this pick is her recent patches are very reliant on her getting a well-timed Octarine core, and I would say the Ancient Apparition is another great counter in that regard. Preventing the self-heal from the Exorcism makes it so that the Octarine progression is just not as strong as it otherwise would be. So I'm thinking that EHOME, if they can get enough farm on Lanham, if he can get a good start, maybe get that Midas, at least Aghanims, then he should be able to control the mid to late game. But that means Wings just have that much more emphasis on their early game.
Okay, so Death Prophet, I mean, I agree. And also on the patch, I think they keep trying to buff the Exorcism, but she's so squishy, and I mean, the Exorcism cooldown feels just too long.
Yeah, I mean, she still has the same weaknesses, but I've played against it a number of times and even used it in some drafts and some. I mean, it's North American Dota, so it's a very different feel, but it is some pretty high-level stuff. So I would say that there's still some validity to the hero pick. She has the same weaknesses, but she's also brings a lot in terms of strength. I wouldn't count her out. I still think she's going to be very relevant this game. It's just how relevant, especially as the game progresses.
Alright, so CDEC.Y on... You definitely think this is going to be the Blade Mail Radiance on CDEC.Y? I mean, what about other builds, like, you know, an Armlet into a Basher or even a Blink?
Yeah, I mean, you sometimes see Midas as well, just to get the farm speed up there, and that definitely is possible, considering what he was able to do with the Silencer. I have to reconnect, by the way, because the Perfect World servers were not playing nice, so if I restart Dota, it has a much better chance of success. But yeah, as far as that goes, I would say the Radiance is definitely the strongest way to build yourself up. I mean, the mid for their team, that would be... Who's on mid again? Sorry,
It's Old Chicken. He's playing the Invoker.
Yeah, okay, so
Again,
he's not very farm dependent. So I would say he's farm dependent, but he's not flash farm dependent. So they want one hero that can take advantage of stacks and spread the map, farm the jungle, stuff like that. I think the Radiance is a pretty good pickup if they can get it.
Oh, we got a pause. Looks like they may have lag issues. And I do like the Quas Exort Invoker. So Old Chicken is not going to be the Quas Wex. And you can imagine, like, with, you know, the Exort, you get a Sunstrike into the Ray Fire Blast. Good synergy there and good teamwork. I think they actually can get plenty of kills, so this Invoker may not even have to leave his lane. But he's getting zoned out very hard by Ice and this Death Prophet. Just spamming out the Crypt Blasts, the Crypt Swarms. Alright, so here you can see Shadow being harassed a bit by Old 11, who has a bit of help from Kaka playing on the Night Stalker. And it's not like Innocence can really do much, but he does find a Sentry, so he takes it out. Old 11 is just zoning Shadow out of this lane, using those decay stacks very, very nicely. Middle lane, you can still see. Yeah, it's definitely Quas Exort.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a possibility to go try Orb here. We won't know until really level 4. But at the same time, I would say that it is more likely now that he is going to be going for the Exort, since he hasn't put a single point in Wex yet. And he's under some pretty heavy fire. He goes for Invoke next, so we'll know by level 4. But all the same, I think there's some great strength in the Sunstrike. I mean, going in and... Wow, Old 11 and Kaka are just so far forward. Gonna be Shadow doubles, or Steering Chains. And although that only lasts a second here, it's still gonna be putting Kaka down very low HP. Salving up, he only lives with 12 HP, and Old 11 gets kited out as well. So that is gonna be a close exchange, but still first blood on the table. Nightmare comes in, Old 11... doesn't stick around that long. Was that a misplay? Nope, it's a kill.
Oh.
Ice, Brain Saps, kills it. I think he did end that Nightmare early, but doesn't matter. He gets the kill.
And at the same time, Innocence, he's going to find himself a nice D-ward. So suddenly the top lane looks like that aggression just wasted here. Kaka's ran out of consumables as well. He's still on Stout Shield and like just a casual branch. 11, he's holding on that level 3 skill point. He's probably thinking either the Decay or the Tombstone. Shadows here, forced to pop the Flame Guard.
Yeah,
Nah,
I think Tombstone's a little bit better here. You get some really good potential if the Dazzle's ever away to kill off the Ember Spirit before it gets sick. So I would say you want to get that sooner rather than later. And yeah, Invoker already skilling up Sunstrike, otherwise a 2-0-1 in his orbs. And obviously he wants to kill on Beyond. That's going to be... If Beyond ever goes too close to the Wraith King, he's going to get hit by the Wraith Fire Blast, the Cold Feet, and the Sunstrike. But At the same time, that's optimistic. For now, I think the Clockwork's just going to cog block and pull the lane back as often as possible.
And also, I mean, when you think about the Sunstrike, you got to take into account Ice Vortex from the Ancient Apparition. So that can actually do a fair bit of damage. Oh, Ice actually falling. He takes a hit from the Sunstrike and will be forced to salve up.
Yeah, but he's still fighting out pretty well. I mean, got the boots early, and he's been getting involved. Obviously, the only kill on the board is his, so he's pretty happy about that. Still, though, experience per minute early on. Invoker is leading now, just because the Death Prophet has only denied 6 creeps, and because the Bane has been leeching. And then beyond that, it's going to be the Wraith King solo in the safe lane. So they're already getting more on their course, while Landom gets to pull. And it comes a little bit at the cost of the Night Stalker, who's been roaming around a lot and only going on the lane when he has to help out Old 11.
Yep. And okay, or top lane Kaka.
Yeah, so this is a bit of a trade-off here. The Kaka Night Stalker is supporting the Old 11 Undying rather than the other way around. You usually see the Undying being the support, the Night Stalker getting the farm priority. Why do you think they went this route instead? Actually, we're going to see a little skirmish here on top.
Bam. Oh wait, get the rune. Oh, Tombstone's on the cliff. There's no way to getting out of this. Yep. This is the Death Prophet. And no chance for the Grave because he didn't skill any points into that. And I think Innocence is going to pay for it as well. Ice probably default, but a heal bomb. Okay, wait, he still has a tiny chance. But Kaka here, it is nighttime after all, so the Void's going to come down. He's going to juke him around the trees. Oh, what? He turned around for Ice instead, and Innocence is just going to TP out.
Yeah, well, he does get that TP away, but they get their 2 kills, especially the one they're looking for with the Invoker assisting. Obvious experience progression is very important for Old Chicken, so getting involved there without losing too much in mid is pretty important. That being said, yeah, we are going to be seeing the Night Stalker actually get involved here at nighttime. Contesting that rune, even 3v2 against the Night Stalker right when nighttime's about to hit, can cause some major issues.
I think they estimated it pretty well as well. So Old Chicken's still quite a distance away from his Midas. CDEC.Y. Oh, this is actually a very unique build if you think about it. He's actually just got 3 points in a Ray Fire Blast, and the rest is stats.
It could definitely work. I mean, the cog pressure from Beyond might be a little bit of a mana burn here. Actually, it's the creep instead of him. Oh, he gets lucky there. But even still, yeah, he wants to make sure he can get as many blasts out early on as possible to enable kills and to really shut down the Clockwork. The Clockwork's only 180 experience per minute, and it shows with the fact that he can't actually go on the creep wave at all.
Yep, and I mean, he's still level 6, and he's holding on a few skill points. Has TP. Is he actually thinking about a Midas? Because he has 1,520 gold.
I think so. I mean, it's either going for the hard rush of Sacred Relic, which is obviously quite ambitious, or just going for the Midas recipe. Both are fair options for Wraith King, and both greatly enhances progression. I like the Midas more so for the experience than the gold, because although it is great in helping the fact that he can't flash farm, obviously getting level 16 on Wraith King is huge. But Radiance obviously is otherwise preferential. Lionel going to be caught out here. Just 2 heroes finding him out here. Battery Assault Cogs. Nothing really fancy. Bane will pick up the Ancient Apparition, and it doesn't even affect the Wraith King whatsoever. He's still going to farm at pretty much the exact same pace and control his lane confidently. Up top, though, no. Shadow's a little bit worried about potential crippling fear action around level 4, but for now he's pretty much able to just stay active on the lane. And Old Chicken does go back for some Wex here, so it is going to be only a single point in Exort, and he is going for that Wex Voker.
Probably went for the point in Exort just for, you know, the extra damage so that he can last it a bit easier.
Yeah, it's the Alacrity and just the single point for the damage buff as well is really strong. And maybe they don't expect some Wex spells coming out from him if he doesn't pull his Wex Orbs out until like the last second. He's actually maxing it now, and they should be able to just highlight over Alacrity. You can do this to enemy heroes, just highlight over the spell, and you can see what level it is, and based on that, know how many points he has in each orb.
And Oh wait, yeah, nighttime's gonna end soon, so Kaka has to keep things on a hold, but Auto 11, he's gonna initiate it on the steering chains and the 3 remnants to follow. Ember Spirit's gonna find himself a nice kill and a tombstone. So a nice bit of gold going the way of Innocence.
Dazzle can afford boots. Dazzle's happy.
Life of a support. Oh, he gets the last hit on the creeps on the large camp, so...
Suddenly he like tripled his net worth. Innocence has been having a rough game, but no, now he's gonna lose a lot of it.
Oh,
Buy the boots from shop. Buy the boots from shop. No, Innocence, no. He goes down. Doesn't lose too much.
Oh, that's just sad.
But yeah. Still a lot of that gold was reliable, but he loses pretty much everything he had unreliable.
Alright, where is the Death Prophet going? Are there stacks? Yeah, they are. So we're gonna clear stacks now. And also, I mean, yeah, it kind of helps that when you go for the point in the Exort, it made it seem like you're going for a cross Exort Invoker. But when you suddenly switch it to the cross Wax, it kind of it forces Wings to adapt here and there, so it kind of confuses them a bit more.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, but I honestly don't know if it's all that valuable.
He's dead.
Nice.
CDEC.Y with rotation.
Yep, just don't expect the Wraith King to jump on you, but he got just an illusion rune bottom, but it's enough to take up the tower now. Another tombstone death actually up top here, as we do see Kaka under some heavy fire. But yeah, I was thinking about the mind games with that as well, and I gotta say that as the more I think about it, the less it matters. Like, you're not going to be adjusting a game plan from like 4 minutes into the game. You're going to be exposing the Wex skill points pretty like around level 4 or level 5, and at that point you're not really adjusting their strategy at all.
Oh, hook shot bottom lane. Line him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think
a little
he's
pick off there. Yeah, same spot, same heroes, and the Clockwork will take the kill this time.
And Ember's gonna get a kill on Undying the top lane. Heal bomb.
Radiant's bottom tower
Good stuff. So we're going to see more lockdown from the Ember Spirit, and Shadow's going to be trying to make his plays happen. But Wraith King is going to get a stun here onto Ice Ice, so that's going to be, with the EMP here, a nice turn against the Dire. Death Prophet tries to contribute, but this Wraith King just a little bit too tanky, and they can't even pop the Reincarnate.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well, I think he wanted to, but just a quick reaction from CDEC.Y. It looked like he had brain lag or something. He was just waiting there in the middle of the cast animation, but CDEC.Y having the quicker fingers to Ray Fire Blast to get him off. And of course,
I think it was cold snapped at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. There is a dot tick as well with the Wraith Fire Blast, so that should be enough damage to trigger the cold snap there. So he was pretty well locked down, and just unfortunately couldn't do much in that situation. Tranquil Boots on him as well, so we're going to be seeing a lot of Tranquils this game. One Clockwork, one on Bane, even the Night Stalker picked one up.
And not to mention these wards, man, you can see that these 2 Observer wards placed in the Radiant jungle. And then one of them which is actually avoiding the detection of 2 Sentry wards. That's really good. And now they're going for a smoke, probably trying to kill the mid. Oh, they actually find the Death Prophet, but CDEC.Y... Oh, the smoke gets broken, and I think he's going to go on Ice instead.
Ooh, that's a nice hook shot onto Lanham. This is not when you want to be fighting with your AA before he hits 6. Now we see the Wraith King. They're going to pop this Reincarnate, and they're going to look to kill him a second time. Already going to be going down once. They have to put the Tombstone down. They have to help him out here, and he's just going to go on Death Prophet before she can get an Exorcism out. Good focus and great EMP, but we're going to see Old Chicken kind of isolated by Shadow and having to Ghost Walk away. So already they're losing some damage in this fight, but they're keeping the Tombstone alive for the full duration, and now it finally goes down. EHOME are in retreat. Old Chicken just trying to get some slows out, but the Searing Chains will hit onto the Wraith King, and he's caught in the cogs once more. Can't be healed up significantly enough, and he will be going down. Doesn't get to use his Midas, and feeds a level 9 kill to that of Wings, along with a big cooldown of his ultimate. Beyond, however, has overextended himself, will be punished, making it 7 for 7 as they look to maybe tower dive Kaka with the Void available, but now going in essentially 2v4. Tornado's going to help out, but still that Searing Chain doing way too much. And despite massive decay stacks up on a 1750 HP Undying, you are going to be looking at final disengage.
So both teams just kind of overextending over each other's part of the map, taking turns to feed.
Yeah, a lot of unnecessary deaths, but both teams just kind of feel like they have the potential to fight. A big problem there was Wings didn't have enough mana on their Death Prophet to pop that Exorcism out, so she didn't contribute the way you'd want her to.
And I do believe we haven't seen an Exorcism yet in this game.
Not at all. I mean, the Invoker is a hero. The one thing I really like about Invoker versus Death Prophet is the fact that he always is going to stay in the middle lane. He doesn't roam, he doesn't look for runes, so Beyond actually going to be in some trouble here. There's not much damage follow through though. The Sunstrike, it would only be level 1 even if it was invoked. So they're going to try to kill off Wraith King again, and it very well might happen. Obviously to reincarnate, and now they have no way to interrupt the Fiend's Grip. He'll fight it out as best he can. Did Old 11 just heal himself? Oh boy, that's going to be the death of the Wraith King, and that is going to be beyond sacrificing himself under Shallow Grave. Cleaned up by the Undying.
Gonna come out.
Exorcism is going to finally come through, and Old 11's going to be taking a decent bit of damage. Death Prophet's still alive a little bit longer. Magic Wand not going to be used, and she'll go down to the last hit from the Invoker. So a double kill for Shadow, a 3 for 2 in total. But Old Chicken still living to tell the tale as he tries to fortify bottom lane.
Probably going for a Force Staff. I mean, he's got a Ring of Region. It's definitely not going to be the Yield Scepter. I thought it would have been an Orchid. That would have been a good idea against like the Ember Spirit, forcing him to go into a Manta Star. But no, looks like Old Chicken's not going to go for that. He's just going to go for the safer option of the Force Staff.
I mean, you're up against both a Clockwork and an Ember Spirit, so there's a lot of value on this Force Staff. And yeah, the real I'm not surprised that he went for Force before he goes for Orchid, which he will most likely go as his next item. I was a little surprised that he didn't go for the Hand of Midas, but I completely agree with his decision. The fact is, your Wraith King just picked up Hand of Midas. We're seeing Wings build their tempo and start gaining momentum in this game. You don't want to be going for a Midas at this point in time. We're actually going to be seeing for the 3rd time the Wraith King get picked up, and CTY is on the feed train right now, man.
Feed is strong in this one. He's actually 1 in 3. He's not doing that well.
Yeah, and that's of course with his one reason to reincarnate as well. So it's like the hero that should never die is now the most deaths next to the Clockwork. Oh, AA, okay, Landham is stepping up his feed game as well, but that's a pre-level 6 Ancient Apparition. He's had some hard times.
Now with the Ice Blast, maybe they can look for a couple more kills, especially on the heroes like the Death Prophet. He's going for a Rod of Atos.
I think it's just a casual VIP booster into Yules. I think that that's the optimal build for Death Prophet, though Atos is still a possibility.
Atos would actually be great against CTY.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing the Wraith King hates, is just being kited. Like, if this was like an armlet build from Wraith King, sure. But if he goes for like VG.P next, the Atos doesn't matter. I think Yules is just too important on the hero.
Kaka still trying to make himself towards that Midas. And right, looks like they may get themselves an easy T1 mid. But the Fortify is up, and Wings may not contest this without the Exorcism. It's still down, but it's actually going to be 3 seconds to still do this, but unlikely. CTY is going to find himself a tower, now 1,200 gold. Maybe slowly building towards the Radiance you mentioned. Faith, oh, I think he has a hookshot, I think he knows.
I think Blink maybe a little bit more so. Midas and Radiance together seems like a little bit too much. You usually go one or the other from my experience, so I mean, it's definitely possible if CDEC.Y wants to go full greed mode, but if they just want to start fighting, as I would expect, I would say the BKB would be, or the Blink Dagger is actually what he's saving for the moment. Midas Blink BKB.
Okay. I mean, I'm okay with the Blade Mail as well. I think it's good. It provides a bit of extra intelligence given, and of course you can reflect the damage of the Exorcism.
Oh, Nightmare versus Wraith Fire Blast. We're going to see Invoker get a great EMP off here. He's already got the Tornado, but he's got to get that EMP out. It's actually going to be on the backline where Beyond finds out Old 11. He's taking a lot of hits here. He has himself a Magic Stick, a Soul Rip, and now the Decay. That'll turn it around on Beyond. We do have a Reincarnate level 2 up for the Wraith King, so Shadow now in a bit of a bad spot, and he doesn't get to run it very far away. The Exorcism will be popped, though. Ice Blast onto 2 big heroes, but the Fiend's Grip onto the Wraith King gets canceled out here, and that Cold Snap might be the saving grace for EHOME here. Shadow's going to be dropping very low. The Grave will be unnecessary, but Ice is actually going to be the one isolated and killed off. Shadow going back in. That was his last remnant. He's fully committed now, and he's going in and going to get stunned in just a second. He's going down. Oh, that's a huge kill. 45 seconds, a mega kill streak, all for the Undying. And Old Chicken actually finds a Tornado EMP onto the Death Prophet. So if they can only close distance, they can find that kill, but as we see, she has so much movement speed with that Witchcraft. Instead, it's Clockwork who walks right into the thick of things and might just die outright. Innocence's Grave is not back up. There's going to be your Ice Blast, and Beyond should shatter. 94 HP is what we're looking for, and yeah, he'll tick through on the last. Oh, man. What a...
Such bad luck.
Yeah.
And he just spawned as well.
Just trying to get things back under their control, but it's just not working. Wings are now kill score even, the net worth and experience graph getting out of their control. And I think a big aspect of it is just EHOME are looking for fights at the perfect timing. When the Invoker has the Force Staff and the Wraith King just hit level 11, that's a great time to take a fight. Whereas with Wings, it's just, they seem to be being more reactive than proactive, and that's problematic when you have such key ulti timings. It is going to be Atos as well. You were right about that. The Death Prophet looks to kite the Wraith King, and the Wraith King still 2400. He goes for the blink. Okay. I was about to say, if he's going for Radiance, we might have some problems, because that Atos is going to counter him hard. But going for the blink, he'll be able to get one jump on a target, and then the BKB
Top
will...
lane.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
Pity. Yeah, he probably didn't want to commit the Fiend script, seeing as, you know, the Wraith King still, or may not have his ult. But then again, there are plenty of heroes from Wings gaming getting to the top lane. I think they want to initiate on Old 11. Yep, they do get the Searing Chains off. Old 11 actually going to fall very low. He drops the Tombstone just in the nick of time. He has a sword, and the hookshot going to connect on CDEC.Y, but CDEC.Y is probably going to die. He does not have a reincarnation. The Mecha's going to keep it alive just for now. EMP combo is going to come on, and suddenly everyone's very low on mana. And the first one down will be the Ember Spirit. Kaka's going to chase after Faith, and this could be the death of the Clockwork again. So CDEC.Y.
Jeez, and now Innocence tried to get that Grave off, and he's going to be the one caught out. Ice Vortex Void, he's down, and Ice on the eastern side gets stunned up as well. Oh man, that's just perfect execution from EHOME.
Griffin TP out.
No, cold snap. Not a chance.
More down.
And I want to note that Old Chicken actually saved CDEC.Y there with the defensive Force Staff. Great usage from him. It was just like the perfect fight for them. The Exorcism comes out on mid to try to push down the tier 1. May succeed, but will it even matter? Sure, the tower will fall, and it looks like CDEC.Y doesn't get the deny. Creeps, creeps, creeps. There we go. Does finish it off. Sunstrike.
Sunstrike.
No, that's level 1.
CDEC.Y's gonna feed.
Well, he's got the LT to rely upon, so in the end, Tier 1 top goes to EHOME, Tier 1 mid goes to Wings, but it's still, what, a 4 for nil if you ignore the reincarnate?
Yeah. And at the same time, I think they're just hoping that, you know, if the Ice Blast is connected onto the Death Prophet, the CDEC.Y definitely would have gone for that, and probably would have won as well.
And now this gives them a ramp for the Midas. Kaka was one of the two heroes still pursuing ahead of Midas this game. I believe the Clockwork is as well, but because EHOME have been winning the past two major fights, Kaka gets it way before this Clockwork ever could, and he's going to build up towards that level 16, and of course towards the Aghanim Scepter. Late, but still solid for a 4-position support.
And speaking of Aghanim Scepters, I know this is very unlikely, but what do you think if CDEC.Y got an Aghanim Scepter?
I have seen it in late game scenarios, 45 plus minutes. You won't see it before that, but at the same time, it's actually really solid for a lot of heroes. And it's in particular the Invoker. The fact the Invoker can just start casting his spells without worrying about anybody jumping on him or doing anything to him, it definitely creates some opportunities, especially with how short those cooldowns can get for a late game Invoker.
Oh, he gets the tower kill.
He does, but it will cost him his life.
Not worth it at all. I'm not sure. Do you think it's worth it? It looks like he's going for Midas, actually. Tornado's actually going to catch Innocence at the very tip, but no, he's too far away.
Yeah, he'll work his way there. He wants to be relevant in the mid game, but already we've seen a lot happen. The blink initiation not going to be there from the Wraith King, so that is going to be just a Clockwork kill and all the tier 1s but one down for EHOME. So yeah, overall, EHOME are looking for their next set of ultimates. Obviously, level 11 is a critical timing for a lot of these heroes. So, going to be seeing most everybody hit that mark. Lanham's really the one lagging behind in terms of levels for EHOME. In the meantime, Wings, I think they still are looking for their next big item on Shadow. The Battle Fury is just paramount for them.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Also, I want to point out is that Old Chicken has had an amazing game so far. He's 4-0 and 10.
Yeah, very, very solid from him, actually. That would be a great kill bounty to acquire just because of his net worth being 3rd place right now. Yep. They're going to go ahead. I think there was a ping from Old Chicken. He saw them smoke as... Not necessarily saw them smoke, but knew that they went from the bottom lane to the Secret Chop and didn't walk through the Observer Ward in place. So the Illusion walk in, but a little bit too late. The Tornado, not going to be picking it up. It's going to be Death Prophet's Aegis, though a hell of a wombo combo in the pit. Beyond going to be going down, and on respawn, I think they might have a chance of this Death Prophet here. Going to silence her up, and yeah, just pummel her down. what a combination of spells there. The Ice Blast, the Tornado EMP, and even the Deafening.
That was just a horrible thing to do. I mean, at the same time, EHOME, they took the fight because they knew that if the Death Prophet does get the Aegis, if they kill her off just in the nick of time, there's no exorcism, she's just pretty much a non-factor at all. And I think they want to go in shadows, where they find him, yep, stun comes out, and the silence, plus the Sunstrike to follow Invoker. Night Stalker's gonna get the kill, and they get the T2 tower. Just perfect synergy. And I think they want to go in Ice. Kaka did spot him out, CDEC.Y blinks forward. I think they want to chase him. Do they know? Do they know? Blink is off quill in 8 seconds. They still can do this. The weave is gonna scare them a bit. And actually they think about turning around. Glimmer.K puts him to sleep. Here comes Clockwork.
No, they're just gonna walk away from this though. There's too many reinforcements coming in from EHOME. Old 11's already in position, and yeah, they might not even be able to hold the tier 2 in mid. The exorcism was popped, of course, for the Roshan. I think it comes down, obviously it came down to timing for EHOME, but it comes down to this observer ward here on the high ground. This gave them the intel they needed to know there was a smoke, and when they knew, they were kind of waiting on their side of the map looking to break smoke, and in that kind of formation, as soon as they realized that there was no smoke to break, they knew that they were in Roshan. They scouted with the illusions, and they still clean up the fight. They don't stop Rosh because they were looking just to prevent an invasion, but even though the Aegis goes to Wings, it's still EHOME that went out and clean house. So they're in a great position in this game. BKB and Death Prophet might change things a little bit because the Invoker is so dependent on his targets not being immune to spells. But right now, EHOME are really in the driver's seat.
Ember Spirit is just, yeah, he's always so close to the battlefield and has been delayed for quite a while. It's not like he went for the jump, so this is actually a really slow battlefield. It's already 24 minutes in, and the ideal timing should be around like 3 minutes go, 20, 21. So yeah, and because he doesn't have the boost of travel, which most Ember Spirits would go for, he can't really, you know, he's not that mobile across the map as you would hope for your Ember Spirit to be.
And now we've
Old
got...
Chicken actually now.
Oh, this is actually amazing for Old Chicken. Normally, when you go in for the gank play as a Wexfoker, you have to have Ghost Walk as one of your 2 spells invoked. But he actually got himself an Avizarin, so he gets Cold Snap, Alacrity, and DMP, all with the Orchid onto Shadow here. And he's gonna do some damage, but actually Ice is there with the Glimmer Cape, and now the Fiend's Grip to turn it around. So what seemed good for Old Chicken actually sets him up for failure here as the Bane turns it around.
Nicely done. Probably thought that, you know, he's just left, like, Shadow left the Remnant behind or something. They didn't expect Bane to be there. Oh, hookshot misses onto the Lanham. Such a pity. He's actually not going for the Midas, he went for the Force Staff. Or CDEC.Y, he wants to go on the Death Prophet, but Crobulus is just gonna walk away.
Yeah. There's just too many Midases in play. It's the same reason the Invoker didn't go for a Midas, is because you just can't go for 3 Midases in this game, otherwise the Death Prophet takes too many objectives while you're still waiting for that Midas to really kick in. No, he goes for the 5 position, and that means Force Staff to counteract, again, the hookshot cogs and the Searing Chains.
That's true, but I mean at the same time, at the rate at this pace this game is going, it's not that bad, just because, you know, Death Prophet, despite being able to take objectives, she isn't being able to do so because of this Invoker, who has been such a huge factor here. And I think Old 11, he wants to go on Shadow, who will just Remnant away. He will finally have his battlefield, and it looks like Clockwork finally completes his Midas.
Yep, does pick up one himself, so he's going to be able to at least get his level 11 out pretty soon. Obviously going to go for a utility build-up for his next pickups. I'm not sure if Ags is the right call. Usually if the fight has already started, you're not going to want to look to chase down your targets because you're going to be dry on mana. It's just, I feel like the team fights are taxing for Wings, and even if they've won, they've only won mildly, and being able to pursue further with another hookshot might not be that great. So we'll see what he goes for, but all in all, he's going to get some good progression. Deslayer is actually going to come out for CDEC.Y. And while we do have a moment before Shadow might get ganked... no, the Ice Blast coming through. We have the Orchid. We have the Cold Snap. We're actually not going to see the Ice Blast hit, though. And Shadow... Oh, out of mana just barely from that EMP. Will just pop the Flame Guard, and the Clockwork will be the pick instead. But, yeah...
This will be huge.
I think Lanham just goes Force Staff into Axe this game. Like, you don't need a Midas in this situation. Your Ice Blast is mostly as effective as it needs to be, just at rank 2. And you're really looking for that longer duration to make sure the Death Prophet can't self-heal.
Finds the Death Prophet, and thanks to this ward, it's actually going to fight him. He's going to get the vision.
Yep. Crit him down.
Oh,
Very nice.
talk about RNG.
Gem from Lanham, actually. Well, I guess that goes well with a Night Stalker Aghanim Scepter, which is coming out on the courier right now. Despite the delay, if you just look over at last hits, the Undying took farm up top. The Kaka has found 54 last hits this game. But because he's been involved in so many kills, 3, 2, and 10, he has a Midas Aghanim Scepter as a 4 position here at the same timing you would see from an offlaner. Just really a great timing for Kaka, and it's going to be coming in just for the 28-minute night. With the gem on top, it's great.
Here comes, that's a lot of damage. Old 11 actually brought really low.
And this tier 3 should be falling. They can't go fight into the tombstone here.
Yeah, and just having the Desolator is doing so much. This tower fell really quickly. 481 HP already, and CDEC.Y can stand in front. Because this is a level 16 resurrection, he's not afraid to die. It's gonna come up again in a minute anyway. Oh, force that into the cogs! Night Stalker gets clockwork, and CDEC.Y is just gonna, it's gonna proc the
Now the Exorcism is gonna come out. Nice little blink back though. They can just walk away from this. Now the Searing Chains and the Orchid, now they're committed. Shadow gonna be taking a lot of damage here, but can they actually finish him off? No, the Soulburn's not gonna do enough here, and their Fiend's Grip is still on Kaka. Old 11, nice decay coming out here. Death Prophet gonna be dropping pretty low, but still has that BKB in reserve. They should just wait out the Exorcism. As soon as that's gone, they can go and take these racks with essentially no contest. Like, unless you get, well, you don't even have crit on the Ember Spirit, so like the Slight can't do enough damage, just even cleaving on the creep wave. This should be a free lane of Brax.
Forced to go for Mantis style, of course, the Orchid, so that he can leave, you know, just leave his base without having to worry so much about the silence. And yeah, so CDEC.Y, you're gonna take the range racks and Rod of Atos, just chaining him down, but this is how fast the reincarnation's up again. 5 more seconds. Yeah, it's up every minute, so it doesn't really matter. CDEC.Y, oh, hookshot misses. Here comes the Ice Blast coming in. It's gonna split. Actually, it's gonna hit into Innocence in the back, but CDEC.Y is gonna just crit down Faith, and he's gonna get himself a kill with his reincarnation back up, and he's gonna be healed back up and then dying, who gets himself a kill onto the Ember Spirit. And the BKB is gonna be popped on the Death Prophet, but now they're gonna go find Ice all the way into the trees, just diving them in the base, and I think this is GG for Wings. I don't see how you come back from this place.
They've lost everything. They've lost all their heroes. They have no buybacks. They are going to be losing the mid lane, and they are going to be losing some part of their bottom lane. Tier 2 is still standing, so it's not easy to just go ahead and take the Tier 3. In fact, impossible. But it's still going to be EHOME that take this dramatic win here at 30 minutes, and it's not something that Wings have an opportunity to rebound from. This is elimination, so I can see why they stick through it, but oh my gosh, that Tornado is actually going to shatter the Death Prophet before Innocence can grave. Oh, and now, without the Death Prophet, this is going to be the bottom lane. It's not even like they take the tier 2 and walk away. They're actually going to be taking 2 full lanes of racks. Both times, they just didn't have the heroes they needed, or the cooldowns they needed to defend, and this is going to be 2 lanes down. EHOME taking a massive swing forward, but not done yet. They want to go even harder. There's the GG as the base dive commences. There is going to be a nice little hook shot, but all they can do is delay the inevitable. The death of the Dire Ancient signals Wings' demise. That is going to be Wings getting 2-0'd by EHOME in this winner bracket semi-final, and because there are 3 qualifier slots available, that actually will decide the fate of one of these 2 teams. EHOME victorious, taking it 2-0, getting a really strong run through the winner bracket. Of course, they got directly invited to this playoff stage in the upper bracket, and then not only able to take out Fanchuan 2-0, but now taking out Wings gets them a direct invite to the LAN event in Minsk. So that is obviously an impressive run from them.
Yep, and I mean, I really just have to point out that the Death Prophet, I mean, he just missed out on so many optimum timings of this game. Probably could have done better, but the Ember Spirit is just so underfarmed, and it was just old chicken, his global presence, you know, everywhere. He was really everywhere on the map, and the Night Stalker as well. So EHOME, they really executed the draft perfectly. That even CDEC.Y, even though he had a horrible start, feeding like 1 and 3, went to 3-3-13. Really good play, and the Undying, it was just a huge impact on the Ember Spirit, which is probably why he was forced to go for like into the treads. So yeah, overall well played. EHOME just outplaying Wings at all the crucial points.
Yeah, those like I would have to add them up to about 4 total team fights, but the last series of events going so favorably for EHOME that the early game doesn't matter that much. Wraith King is just able to do so much as his levels progress, and we saw him hit that level 16 timing so far beyond what Wings were able to deal with. They didn't have mana burn, so they had to tank through the reincarnate, and with that only being a minute cooldown, he was ready to fight again and again and again. So that's going to be EHOME just showing what they can accomplish here up against Wings. Wings going to be going down to the lower bracket to fight up against CDEC.Y tomorrow, and that'll be starting at the same time. So that is 2 o'clock Eastern time, which is 8 o'clock Central European time. I guess it's over in Singapore. It would be 3 a.m. or no, 3 p.m. Sorry.
Yeah, 3 p.m.
So that'd be 1500 hours, but that is going to be the next broadcast, as this one here is concluding with 3 2-0s actually. Some one-sided matches a little bit here, but still some very interesting ones, don't you think?
Yep. I mean, what matches do we have tomorrow, do you know?
Well, of course we got to go with CDEC.Y and Wings and see how that one turns out. Beyond that, on the 29th...
Oh, and we have FT, what else do we have?
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, I can't see it yet.
Yeah,
Right.
the way they did the brackets makes it hard to tell, but we have some great matches coming up for you guys. 3 best of 3s to close out Star Ladder I-League China here on Dota Star Ladder EN. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast, and you guys have a good night. Once again, if you enjoyed the commentary, feel free to look us up. I'm at BlazeCasting, he's at Hades Dota, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you, everybody. Thanks for watching.